What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's get into Monday Night Raw from May the 13th, 2024. A boring edition of Monday Night Raw. I'm so ready for the King and Queen of the Ring tournament to be over with. The show was not that good. And Triple H continues to make dumb booking decisions. And this show was no exception. So we kicked the show off with Drew McIntyre. He gets on the mic. He makes fun of the crowd, saying that CM Punk might show up if the show was in Atlanta or Charlotte. But he doesn't make the big towns. I mean, he only makes the big towns brothers. So the crowd boos when he says that. Drew McIntyre says the greatest the greatest trick that CM Punk ever pulled was looking like a drug addict without taking any drugs. That popped me. That was hilarious. He also talked about the CM Punk feud. Drew was also talking about, how every time they tried to throw hands at each other, it never happened. He was either in the skybox or Drew was, in his car or whatever. Drew says when he sees CM Punk, he's going to tear his tricep. And then he makes fun of Jey Uso. He says that Jey Uso is going to lose another title match. He said his reward is McIntyre's spot in the King of the Ring because McIntyre is injured. And then he ran down Damien Priest. Damien Priest came out. Damien Priest called Drew McIntyre an asshole and said Drew needs to basically blame himself. He said Damien Priest said that he did what he was going to do all along, saying that he allowed Drew to be champion and that he was going to come after Drew McIntyre anyway. He was never going to go after Seth Rollins at all. It was all Drew McIntyre. And like I said before, Damien Priest called Drew McIntyre an asshole. And then Damien Priest said that when Drew McIntyre is healed, he's going to give him a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. So McIntyre can call him a paper champion all that he wants. When he's done with him, he'll make him eat those words. So this was okay, but why did this need to happen? Because Drew McIntyre is injured. We don't know when he's going to be cleared. We don't know if it's going to be at Clash at the Castle or if it's going to be Money in the Bank. We don't know. Hopefully it's Clash at the Castle because Damien Priest needs to have no more than about a 2 to 3 month title reign. But this was a waste, in my opinion. I mean, this was okay. I mean, we can see that Damien Priest is going to be turning into a babyface. But again, Drew McIntyre didn't need to be out here. And it's crazy because there's no plans for Damien Priest. Damien Priest doesn't even have a challenger to face him at King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. Just in a week's time, basically. So, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand. It's dumb as shit for them not to have challengers lined up for Damien Priest. Even though we know he's going to be a transitional champion, but still, you should have challengers lined up for Damien Priest. Because I don't think they're going to do the Finn Balor and Damien Priest stuff. I don't think that it's going to last that long. Hopefully, Drew can be healed and cleared by Clash at the Castle, which he should be because that's going to be in the middle of June, which is in a month's time. So he should be able to be cleared at least by the end of May or the first part of June, hopefully. And then Drew McIntyre and CM Punk can feud over the World Heavyweight Championship. Moving on. So, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, they're in the parking lot. They got into it with Damage Control. And EO basically shoved Shayna Baszler, and then officials broke it up. Okay, that's fine. this leads us into our first match of the night. Io Sky defeated Shayna Baszler with Over the Moonsaults. Shayna Baszler just needs to be a coach. It's time for her to hang up the damn boots. I don't understand why Triple H continues to push her. Io is really good. But again, Shayna Baszler just needs to be a coach at this point. Like, she doesn't have it anymore. She doesn't have it. This is not 2019. This is not 2018. This is not even 2017. It's 2024. It's time for Shayna Baszler to just be a coach. All right? I don't understand why Triple H continues to push Shayna Baszler. She's not going to give you your return on investment, bro. It's not going to happen, man. Moving on. Post-match, Jackie Redmond gets into the ring. She mentions that Io will face either Lyra Valkyria or Zoe Stark. And then Io Sky rips the microphone, and then she says stuff in Japanese, and that was it. All right, that's fine. Moving on. So JD McDonough, he's backstage with Finn Balor. So Carlito's chatting with Dirty Dominic Mysterio. So Damien Priest walks in and wants to know what's going on. Dominic Mysterio says it's time for them to work together. Carlito says they all can agree that Rey Mysterio is a selfish bastard, proven when he gave his WrestleMania spot to Dragon Lee. No one knows better than Dominic. Carlito says Rhea Ripley is out and Dom is injured. They could use some muscle and benefit from each other. Damien Priest says if the others want to work with him, that's fine. As far as he's concerned, he's not welcome here. Carlito says Damien Priest doesn't trust him, but the most stubborn minds can be changed. Maybe one day they can all be amigos. And then Carlito walks off. I don't really care about this. I don't. This is a waste of TV time. It really is, because we all know that Carlito is just going to screw over the Judgment Day anyway. The Judgment Day, they have fallen off of a cliff for the past year and some change. Like, they were big on Monday Night Raw just last year, and then all of a sudden, fast forward, going into 2024, Judgment Day is nothing. Like, nothing at all. They were, doing anything and everything. They were WWE's most second pushed faction outside of the Bloodline. And they've fallen off a cliff completely. I am ready for Judgment Day to fucking split. It's time. It is time. Moving on. So, Chad Gable, he is backstage. He's walking in front of Alpha Academy. He's running down his stablemates. Chad Gable says we're on the cusp of winning his big Intercontinental Championship match in Saudi Arabia. So, Chad Gable then runs down Maxine Dupree. Says that hopefully she had a great weekend gallivanting in the ring and blowing an opportunity and cleaning the ring tournament. She embarrassed Alpha Academy. It's pathetic. So Chad Gable says tonight's all about redemption. Tonight it'll be Otis versus Bronson Reed. Actually, it'll be Otis versus Sami Zayn. Gable needs his number one guy to soften up Sami Zayn before their match. Chad Gable needs the serious Otis, not the dancer. Tozawa, he has a big opportunity, so he better not blow it against Bronson Reed. Moving on from that, Ivy now comes into play. She approaches Maxine Dupree and says she would have helped her train for Queen of the Ring. Maxine apologizes and Chad Gable doesn't want her training outside of the academy. Ivy now says she doesn't need to take that. Chad Gable comes up and tells Maxine to keep walking. Chad Gable tells Ivy now to stop hanging around. Not so Taylor Swift and focus on herself. That was pretty cool. I like that. That's pretty cool. I don't understand why Chad Gable just doesn't fire the rest of Alpha Academy and replace everyone with Ivy Nile and the Creeds. I think that would be great. It makes perfect sense. Because the Creed brothers, they aren't doing shit. Moving on. So Kofi Kingston, he's backstage with Catherine Kelly. And Xavier Woods. Who's on a crutch. So Jackie Redmond mentions that Kofi Kingston's done the unthinkable before. How's he going to do it again? Kofi Kingston says that he's done it before, but tonight is payback. Last night, Kingston went toe-to-toe with Rey Mysterio. There's no room for fear or self-doubt in the ring. There's no room for failure. Kofi Kingston knows how much the tournament means to Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods says Gunther wants the crown, but winning it means having honor. Woods was injured by Gunther, and he can't defend his honor. Tonight, Kofi Kingston will show Gunther exactly why the New Day rocks. So then this leads us into... Well, no, it doesn't. Moving on. So, Samantha Irvin introduced Lilia Garcia, which was great. Got a nice little ovation. So, Lillian Garcia puts over Samantha Irvin, which was great. She gave her a hug. They embraced and everything else. And she asked Lillian to announce in the Kofi Kingston and Gunther match. That was great. That was cool. Moving on. So, R-Truth, he's backstage with Adam Pearce. Miz comes in and tells R-Truth not to put the titles on the line without talking to him. Adam Pearce says the titles aren't on the line, but they need new number one contenders. So, Kiana James walks in and says she's looking forward to working under Pearce's tutelage. Adam Pearce says if she needs anything, she shouldn't hesitate. And then, Kiana James says she doesn't hesitate, she adjudicates. So R-Truth is confused about if that's even PG. So that was kind of funny. Okay. Cool. Moving on. Gunther defeated Kofi Kingston by the Boston Crab. So Kofi Kingston tapped out. He should have just passed out, really, if we're being honest. There's a million other ways they could have done the finish, but it's fine, I guess. I mean, Kofi Kingston could have looked better in defeat. He was fighting for the honor of Xavier Woods. I don't know why you would have a babyface tap out. It doesn't make any sense. It would have been better for Kofi just to lose, like via a powerbomb or a clothesline or the Last Symphony. Or you could have done where Kofi just passed out. That would have been fine too. But I don't know. It is what it is. Gunther might win, maybe. He might win in the finals. He might. We don't know because I guess his visa is still pending because, he didn't show up at Backlash and he was not at... what was it? He wasn't at Backlash and he wasn't at another pay-per-view that they had. So he wasn't at Backlash. But he missed also one more event as well. I forgot what it was. It was before WrestleMania. Oh, he missed Fastlane. He wasn't even at Fastlane. So I don't know what's wrong with his visa. So I don't know. Moving on. So, Damage Control. No. Lyra Valkyria is backstage with Jackie Redmond. So, Lyra said she had a great debut last week. Lyra Valkyria said it's a perfect way to kickstart her rise to the top of Monday Night Raw. Damage Control better get used to seeing her on Monday nights. Anytime Becky Lynch needs some Irish backup, she's here. Becky walks up and wishes Lyra the best of luck. And then Lyra Valkyria talks about Zoe Stark. Liv Morgan interrupts and wants to say hello and wish her luck. Lyra says that's nice of her. And then Liv Morgan asks if Becky Lynch has always been a bitch. Lyra Valkyria tells her to tell Lynch that herself. So Becky Lynch is standing behind Liv Morgan. And then Becky Lynch then proceeds to punch Liv Morgan in the face. Becky Lynch says she's not scared of a face-to-face fight and calls Liv Morgan a bitch. That was pretty cool, I guess. Moving on. So, Kofi Kingston is hobbling backstage. Karrion Kross stops him and says that was a rough loss, but there's always time to turn things around. And then Karrion Kross walks off. Xavier Woods comes up and asks what Karrion Kross wants. And Kofi's not sure. Again, can we please just put the Final Testament on NXT and leave them there? They're not going to do anything on the main roster. So, why not just put them back in NXT? Like, please. It'll make the most sense. Moving on. Bronson Reed defeated Akira Tozawa. It was a squash match. So that was fine. So, post-match, basically Chad Gable just yells at Akira Tozawa. Moving on. So, Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser are walking backstage. So, Kaiser, who was interviewed by Kathy Kelly, says Gunther shouldn't have to address her after a match. She mentions that the last time Gunther faced Ilya Dragunov, he lost. As for his victory over Jey Uso, there was interference from Jimmy Uso. Last week, Kaiser used some underhanded tactics against Sheamus. Kaiser cuts her off and says Gunther is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Gunther doesn't need to prove anything to anyone around here. As for Sheamus, if anyone actually believes he lost the match because of Kaiser, he's delusional. Sheamus has had a legendary career, but he's never beaten Gunther. It's never happened, and it'll never. It never will. Sheamus should be thanking him because Kaiser said them last week. If Sheamus has a problem with that, Kaiser will put him out of his misery by embarrassing him in front of the entire world. So this was pretty cool. I enjoyed this. Kaiser is a gem. He's going to be a star on his own. Whenever he breaks out, he will do well. Moving on. So, Jackie Redmond, she's backstage with Adam Pearce. So he basically makes a fatal 4-way tag match. So that's really what it was. Not really all that important. Moving on from that, Jackie Redmond, she approves of the fatal 4-way being made. She asked about Braun Breaker for not being in the King of the Ring tournament. Adam Pearce says that Braun Breaker has unlimited potential, but the guys on the roster have proven themselves. He doesn't want him to get thrown into the deep end. Braun Breaker then comes in and says he wouldn't have been in the deep end with his opponents. He would have smiled as he watched them drown. Braun Breaker says, I should have been in the damn tournament, and then he walks off. Okay. All right. Lyra Valkyria defeated Zoe Stark via the Night Wish. The Nightwing for the 1, 2, 3. That's fine. She's going to take on Io in the semifinals. That should be a really good work rate match. So, Lyra Valkyria Plus match talked about how she's confident and speaks Gaelic. They'll find out what she means. She's Lyra Valkyria and a former NXT Women's Champion. So, she wants to fly as the crows fly, right to the top. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't. Moving on. Jey Uso says Drew McIntyre couldn't cut it in the King of the Ring tournament. So he took his place. He beat Finn Balor. And tonight he's going to beat Ilya Dragunov. And then Gunther next week. He's going to be crowned the new King of the Ring. Moving on. So Sami Zayn defeated Otis via the Haluva kick. And then post-match, Chad Gable slapped the shit out of Otis. This was great. That was fun. That was fun. Moving on. So, Braun Strowman, he's talking up to the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile backstage. JD McDonough comes in with the Judgment Day and says they don't like Strowman sticking his nose in their business. Strowman can consider himself warned. And then McDonough walks off, and then Strowman laughs, and then he continues to talk to the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile. Damien Priest versus Braun Strowman could be fun if it's done right. It could be fun. Why aren't we getting Braun Strowman versus Damien Priest? I hope Strowman is okay. I know he had a nasty neck injury, so I don't know. We'll see when we get to that. I don't know. Moving on. There was a DQ in the Becky Lynch and Dakota Kai match. Damage Control got involved. This set up for Lyra Valkyria to come out and make the save. That was it. Post-match, Liv Morgan took out Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. So that was really good shit there. Moving on. So Ilya, he was interviewed by Jackie Redmond. So he's got to be in the main event, the face against Jey Uso. Dragunov says some would say this is a dream to be here, but it's not enough just to be here. Dragunov is here to make an impact, night in and night out. It starts with him becoming the czar of the ring. Last week, he and Ricochet pushed themselves to the absolute limit. Dragunov struck him when he had the moment. And now he'll take the same fight to the main event, in the main event to Jey Uso. What's waiting on the other side is a different animal who he's beaten before, which is Gunther. Dragunov is a different dragon. He beat Gunther. He has a long history with Gunther. One thing is for sure, it's not over. And then so Dragunov is then looked at upon Gunther. Gunther stares him down. They have a little stare down with each other. Gunther smirks, and then he walks off. So that was pretty good shit. We'll probably get Dragunov and Gunther at either Bash in Berlin or SummerSlam. I don't know, but that's fine. Moving on. So we had a fatal 4-way match for the Tag Team Championships, number one contenders. It was the Final Testament, New Catch Republic, Judgment Day, and the Creeds. The Judgment Day win via the help of Carlito. Okay, good shit. It's fine. Not really all that important. And then next week, for whatever reason, Chad Gable is going to take on Sami Zayn. Why the fuck are we doing this? Come on, Triple H. Think, dog. Think. Moving on. So Dragunov was warming up for his match. Ricochet walks in. He says that he wants to show respect to Dragunov. Next time it happens, the outcome is going to be different. As far as tonight, he wishes Dragunov luck. I thought Ricochet was going to turn heel, but he hasn't, not yet. Moving on, more Judgment Day stuff. So Damien Priest walks in. Damien Priest walks in and asks Dom if all is well with him and Rhea Ripley. Finn Balor and JD McDonough, they walk in with Carlito. Damien Priest stares at him, so Carlito takes the hint and he goes to leave. Damien Priest stops him and says what happened out there was cool. So Damien Priest asks Carlito if he can handle his business with Rey Mysterio. They don't roll with cowards. Priest tells Carlito not to let them down, and Carlito is pleased. Okay, that's fine. Main event of the evening, Jey Uso versus Ilya Dragunov. Jey Uso wins via the spear into the Jey Uso splash for the 1, 2, 3. So Jey Uso defeats Dragunov clean. Why? This makes no damn sense. Why would Dragunov even be in this? He shouldn't even be in this. Dragunov should just be feuding with guys until him and Gunther inevitably meet. Whether it's at SummerSlam or Bash in Berlin. Or even sometime next year at like a WrestleMania or what have you. Or even a SummerSlam or something. I don't know. You could have put a number of guys in this spot right here. You didn't need Dragunov in this. You just didn't. It sucks. What do you do with Dragunov now? I have no idea. Again, you could have had Dragunov. You could give him some vignettes. You could give him some promo time. You could have done anything with Dragunov. He doesn't need to be in King in the ring. He just didn't. Just a waste of time. And the fact that he lost clean was crazy. Because I thought that Ricochet was going to get involved and cost Dragunov the match. That would have been fine. I thought they were going to go with that angle, but they didn't. But it is what it is. Monday Night Raw, this tournament for King of the Ring, King and Queen of the Ring is boring as shit. It's boring as fuck. I do not like it. It's a waste of time. I don't care. These matches are way too long. I know SmackDown's going to be the same damn thing. So, I'm not really all excited about the King and Queen of the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. I just don't give a damn about it. But Raw was very dry and boring. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.